The Tragedy of Cinema podcast is intended as a family-friendly program that by extension strives to be inclusive to all people regardless of their ethnicity, gender, creed, or any other identifying factors in this incredibly diverse world of ours. With that said, some of the films we discuss may contain serious subject matters or have content considered morally objectionable by today's standards. We do not intend to condone or dismiss these aspects of these films, but our primary focus will be on what we believe the film succeeds at, some fun facts, and our personal enjoyment factors of each film. With that said, we hope you enjoy the show.
This is the frightening and shocking tale of Count Dracula. Vampires do exist. This one we face is unlike any other. He can change the most innocent of humans.
Jonathan, let me kiss you.
But Lucy, I'm British.
So are these.
Women are rendered powerless under his spell.
Stand up. Not you. Sit. You stand. No, sit. No, stand. Now, walk to the terrace door. Watch out!
His evil desire has no end.
She's alive?
She's Nosferatu.
She's Italian? Up there!
Make no mistake, he must be stopped. Leslie Nielsen, Peter McNichol, Steven Weber, Amy Yazbek, Lizette Anthony, Harvey Korman, and Mel Brooks.
If she dies, a victim of this unspeakable creature, she will become one herself.
What?
She will become one herself.
Dracula, dead and loving it.
It's good to be dead.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. I'm your host, Jimbo, and today I'm joined by...
Joined again, once again, by Kyle Zahner.
Mm-hmm. This is episode 117, Dracula, Dead and Loving It. We covered Bram Stoker's Dracula a couple weeks ago, and I said, hey, Kyle, what better way to
cap off the vampire stories.
Come off the movie of Bram Stoker's Dracula, then let's watch a Mel Brook spoof of it. Mm-hmm. So here we are.
And now we're here.
And now for something completely different. But Kyle, before we dive into this movie, I have a question for you.
Go for it, Jimbo.
If Mel Brooks was to spoof another monster movie, who would you like to see him spoof? Because he's done Young Frankenstein and he's done Dracula.
Yeah, that's a good question. Oh boy. Man. I feel like the Invisible Man would be too raunchy, as well as the Wolfman. So I'm gonna say he should have done the Mummy. I'm gonna say the Mummy. I'm gonna say the Mummy could have had a lot of great dumb jokes. Just unwrapping the money,
or just having the toilet paper. Have him go to Walmart or something, get Charmin, and wrap himself back up or something.
Making it cheap. Oh god, all the dumb jokes he would have made. I think Mummy would have been great because that's just rife for making fun of.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Jimbo, who would you have if not the Mummy?
Maybe the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, that'd be great too. He's a fish man. I know.
I think it could be good too. And maybe at the end have them have like fish nuggets or creature nuggets.
They turn him into a movie star. The whole film is about Hollywood in that case. Oh, it'd be so good.
Yep. So Kyle, as you can tell, next week we'll get back to a more serious tone, but you know what? After you do so many, like Dr. Zhivago, and you do some of these downer movies, you just have to bring it back around and get back in a good mood, get back on where you need to be. So
you have to let loose and know it's okay to let loose. We're like, talk about Dr. Zhivago, like, I can make one joke, maybe.
Maybe.
But
it wasn't even very
we
funny.
are depressed. Yeah, exactly. None of my jokes are funny.
So, Kyle, let's go ahead and kick this movie off.
All right, Dracula, Dead and Loving It, released in 1995, directed by the legendary Mel Brooks of, Blazing Saddles and Spaceballs and all kind of other movies.
Men in Tights.
Men in Tights, The Producers, so many great movies. Written also by Mel Brooks and Rudy DeLuca for the screenplay and story, and Steve Haberman, and based off characters originally created by the legendary Bram Stoker from Bram Stoker's Dracula fame. Produced by Mel Brooks as well, composed by Hummy Man. Cinematographer was Michael D. O'Shea, editor was Adam Ways, and casting director was Lindsay Chag and Bill Shepard. Moving on here, we have a quick plot summary for this film. This film was another spoof from the mind of the legendary Mel Brooks. This time he's out to poke fun at the Dracula myth. Basically, he took the Bram Stoker's Dracula and gave it a new cast and a new script and made a big joke of it. The usual rich English are attacked by Dracula, and Dr. Van Helsing is brought in to save the day. That is a very accurate summary. Just like, you watch Bram Stoker's Dracula? It's that, but Mel Brooks spoofed it.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. Technical details here. We have a run. No awards for this season for obvious reasons.
What?
This is not an award-worthy film. We have a runtime of just 88 minutes, so at the very least it's short. Sound mix was actually Dolby surround sound, 8 channels. You got a full surround sound setup. This film will be all the more okay. Color info, this is a color film. Aspect ratio is 1.85 by 1, just like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which covered last week. Next up for the camera, we use the Panavision Panaflex to film this film. And let's see here, negative format, 35mm. Process was spherical. Memory of Jimbo's dad there. Spherical. 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 That's what I'm going to say.
Well, when we was recording it, I did put because I couldn't get it, I just put an S and then fear and then ickle. So spherical. Still couldn't get it.
Oh gosh. For specific release dates of the actual United States was December 22nd, 1995, right at the end of Christmas. Santa's coming. Watch.
And I remember going to the movie theater to see this movie too.
Right around Christmas or January, you watched this film and just and remember liking it too, if you remember.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Boy, times have changed.
Yeah. Yeah. And in Germany, this was just called Mel Brooks' Dracula. And Dracula taught Eberk. I'm sure I pronounced that correctly. That's your filming dates. This was filmed between May 8th, 1995 to July 1995. It's just a 3-month shooting time. Very regular for the time, I reckon. Oh, I skipped over the budget of the film. For the budget of the film, we had $30 million. Which is actually very expensive for a Mel Brooks film, relatively speaking. And opening weekend, it made $2.7 million. And gross worldwide. This includes Jimbo's money in here, too. It grossed $10.77 million. So it was a flop. No, less than back in the third of what it cost to make the film.
And this was also Mel Brooks' last film he did, so...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was for a long time. This was basically, it kind of.
You know why? He probably went bankrupt.
He probably did.
That's why he can't.
$30 million film. And you got to think, for marketing, probably another $30 million on top of that, easily $15 to $30 million to market the film. So, huge loss. You're talking a $40+ million loss easily on this whole film. That is, that's rough. That's just hard to live with. Oh boy. Anyways, that's the technical specs and release details of Dracula Dead and Loving It. Moving on here, we have the cast of Dracula Dead and Loving It. We, of course, have the legendary Leslie Nielsen playing the role of Dracula. Oh, excuse me. Okay, I'm coughing last week, burping this week. Leslie Nielsen playing Dracula. He's, of course, best known for such films such as the Airplane movies, Scary Movie 3, Naked Gun,
Spy Hard.
Spy Hard. Such a.
Wasn't he in Repossessed or something? I think the Exorcist spoof. I think he was in that too.
Oh, it was the Exorcist spoofs. Yeah, or Wrongfully Accused.
That was funny too.
Yeah.
The fugitive spoof.
What was it was the Forbidden Planet, or what was the name of the first sci-fi film that he was in? It was the Forbidden Planet. The Forbidden Planet, of course, made his career from the start, and then of course had these amazing string of comedy films that he's doing, and ending with one bad one. Well, Scary Movie 3 came out afterwards, and
4, I think.
Yeah,
Four too.
I think he was in 3, and I think that 3 was really good. I don't like almost any of the Scary Movies, but Scary Movie 3 was good for Leslie Nielsen. He played great in it. That's bad to listen to. Next up, we have Peter McNichol playing Renfield. Peter McNichol also was in the film Sophie's Choice in 1982. Definitely more serious film there. Next up, we have Steven Weber playing the role of Harker. Steven Weber was also in the film The Shining in 1997. Next up, we have Amy Yasbeck playing Mina. Amy Yasbeck was also in the film The Mask in 1994. Jim Carrey classic right there. Next up, we have Lysetta Anthony playing the role of Lucy. And Lysetta Anthony was also in the film Krull in 1983. I don't think I've ever seen Krull. Have you seen it?
Yes.
You enjoyed it? Okay. Remember, it looked like some kind of weird sci-fi movie, but like Star Wars, but was like the idea.
You need to watch it. We'll have to cover it. It's pretty good.
Gotta add it to the list sometime, because I'm sure that's a like a blank spot in my memory of like, I don't know what that movie was. Next up, we got Harvey Korman playing Dr. Seward. Harvey Korman was also in the film Blazing Saddles in 1974, perhaps Mel Brooks' best film. Next
Disagree.
up,
Young Frankenstein's got to be a for
Young
me.
Frankenstein is great. I do love it. For Blazing Saddles, I think that's like the coolest one in my.
Oh, it's good too.
Next up, we have, of course, Mel Brooks playing Professor Von Helsing himself. Mel Brooks, of course, best known Spaceballs, Amazing Adults, and this film entirely. Much other films as well. So Mel Brooks, legendary, the producers. Next up, we have Mark Blangfield playing Martin. Mark Blangfield was also in the film Robin Hood, Men in Tights, another Mel Brooks classic. Did he direct that one or just write it? I don't remember. Yeah, have to look it up sometime. Ooh, next up here we have Megan Cavanaugh playing Essie. Megan Cavanaugh was also in the film Robin Hood Men in Tights. Next up we have Clive Revill playing Sykes. Clive Revill was also in the film Avante in 1972. Then we have Chuck McCain playing the innkeeper. Chuck McCain was also in the DuckTales the movie The Treasure of the Lost Lamp in 1990.
Yeah, throw DuckTales in there.
DuckTales, woo! Next up, we have Avery Sheber playing the peasant on a couch.
Okay, you get down there to
we're getting down to the list of
great list.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go through those kind of rapidly then. We have Charlie Friggin also playing the peasant on the couch. We have Ezio Greggio playing the coach driver. Oh, well, on the coach. Okay, so they're on the coach at the beginning of the film when they're going into Transylvania.
Did you say couch?
I said couch, and then it's coach.
Peasant on the couch.
I'm trying to remember the last time I had to spell the word coach or couch now. I'm wondering, like, are they spelled the same? I don't remember.
Oh, no.
When's the last time you had to think about Jimbo?
Huh?
When's the last time you had to think about Jimbo? So that's how coach is spelled. I don't know if that's couch that's spelled either. Oh, whatever. It's fine. Next up, we have Matthew Peretta playing the handsome lieutenant at the ball. Rudy DeLuca playing the guard. Jennifer Christopher Foley playing the nurse. And Darlie Hun playing the brunette vampire, and Karen Rowe playing the blonde vampire. And next up we have Charles Callis playing the man in straitjacket. Let's see here. I have to make sure I got the characters I got here right. I'm going to do the list real quick just to make sure I don't miss anyone I don't want to miss. Besides that, because I got the whole cast list here, and that's got a lot of people for it. And we'd be here all day if I read it all.
I think it might even be longer than Fast Time at Ridgemont High cast.
Exactly. Like, wow. Well, no, still 1995. I guess they just did a good job of making sure they got the names of every single actor in that film in there. Yep, but we're gonna call that end right there and call that the cast of Dracula Dead and Loving It. Whew, Jimbo, let's go through some notes. Tell me about Dracula.
Well, when he really loves someone.
What are you gonna do?
All right, here we go. Let's talk about some of these notes from Dracula Dead.
Plane before.
Much of the dialogue from the original classic Dracula picture is repeated here and spoofed. This includes the film star Leslie Nielsen doing a spoof impersonation of the famed Bela Lugosi. The character of the gypsy woman, Madame Ospinaska, who was portrayed by Mel Brooks' wife, actress Anne Bancroft, was named after Maria Ospinaskaska, who played the character of Maliva in both The Wolfman and Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. So, Renfield, who I think did a fantastic job in this movie, he was hilarious. His laughter and crazy expression at the end of the "You Are My Slave" scene and at the end of the eating insects right off the ground scene.
Eating the insects was great.
Are tributes to the original Renfield, Dwight Fry from Bela Lugosi's Dracula. As Renfield arrives at the hospital at the end of the film, he holds his hands up and laughs exactly as Herman Munster does in the credits for the original TV show The Munsters, starring Fred Gwynn, which we just talked about this last week on Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Small world.
The bat transformations of Dracula were inspired by the cartoonish transformations of Bela Lugosi into a bat in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, because it's really bad if you've ever seen that.
I feel like there was almost a point where maybe there was like a raunchier version of this film too, where like they got like reeled back into like being a little more kid friendly over time. Take a look at the rating, because this movie's PG-13. I feel like there easily could have been like an R-rated cut of this film that would have been like even worse. I'm not saying that would have been better, but possibly even worse. But I feel like they came so close so many cases.
Leslie Nielsen's wig when Renfield arrives at the castle when Dracula goes to the ball was inspired by Dracula's hair in the beginning of the recent Dracula film by Francis Ford Coppola, Bram Stoker's Dracula, which won 3 Academy Awards. It is if you remember Gary Oldman's hairdo as Dracula, and he was very outrageous. And he just takes it off like it's a hat. I remember
the shark, like everyone's, oh God, you have a giant butt on your head, basically. Gary Oldman's wig was ridiculous.
Oh, man. As part of this film's promotion, Castle Rock released a Got Blood advertisement, which spoofed the popular Got Milk campaign. This is, as we said, the most recent theatrical feature film directed by Mel Brooks as of 2022. Mel Brooks asks, do you have Nosferatu? And Harvey Korman says, yes, we have Nosferatu. We have Nosferatu today. This is a reference to the 1923 novelty song by Frank Silver and Irving Cohn, Yes, We Have No Bananas.
That's such a weird joke. I love that he thought that was really funny.
Well, you're laughing.
I'm laughing at the idea that it was funny.
So it was funny.
I guess, yeah. That's Mel Brooks' logic right there.
Right. When Dracula first bites Lucy, the vampire covers her with his cloak before he bites her. This is a homage to Christopher Lee's portrayal of the Dracula character in the Hammer films. The music that appeared in the trailer is John Williams' theme to Dracula, starring Frank Langella, who also played Skeletor in the Masters of the Universe.
No. I'll get you, He-Man.
The movie, Kyle. The movie, not...
I want the cartoon.
Have you ever seen the movie?
No, I've not.
Oh.
Dolph Lundgren?
Oh.
That one? Yeah. Is it? It's
definitely cringeworthy. Yeah.
He-Man's always one of those properties where I was like, is it going to make some kind of weird comeback someday? But like they have the She-Ra thing and the Netflix thing, and like I have no idea what He-Man really is anymore.
Hopefully they'll come out with a live action movie sometime.
I think it'd be ridiculous. I do want to see it, but also I think it's ridiculous.
The movie's aesthetic, visual style, and production art and set design were predominantly inspired by the English Hammer horror movies, particularly the Vampire and Dracula ones. You can see a lot of that.
I can see a lot of it, and definitely like it explains like how like this budget, like as big as it is, was spent entirely making things look cheap.
True. The name of the tall ship was the Demeter, or the Demeter, as consistent with Bram Stoker's source novel, which I finally did finish. So, hooray for me! I read a book.
All the knowledge right there, so now you can fully appreciate this film.
Okay, Kyle. You know who was considered to play Dracula before Leslie Nielsen was cast?
Ooh. Okay, I think Leslie Nielsen was the wrong casting choice on here, so I'm curious to see
Kelsey Grammer.
What? Oh, that's amazing.
It would have been terrible.
Oh, I don't think it would have been much worse. It could have been better.
I could see him doing Renfield, but I don't know if I could see him doing Dracula.
I think this film, like, for me, was, like, I feel like maybe if they did another film together, eventually, like, I would have got warmed up to it. But I feel like just, like, as much as I love Leslie Nielsen and Mel Brooks, I feel like their comedies just didn't mix at all in this film. So, like, I would have been curious to see Kelsey Grammer, who would have been more amenable to Mel
I
Brooks.
did think it was kind of funny when, when Leslie Nielsen has the daydream. He's walking out in the sunlight. He's like, I must be cured. It must have been Lucy's blood. I'm walking out here, and he's like, Renfield. He's like, Master. He's like, Renfield, look, I'm cured. And he starts smoking. He's like, no. He's like, oh, I made a mistake. He's like, he wakes up. He's like, oh, I was just having a daydream.
It's good. It's good.
During the stalking scene when Jonathan Harker asks, is there an alternative for driving a stake through Lucy's heart? Van Helsing suggests we could cut her head off, stuff her mouth with garlic, and tear off her ears. This is a direct reference to the same scene from the book, which I can verify because I just read it.
Yeah.
That Van Helsing does indeed, in fact, cut off Lucy's head, fill her mouth with garlic, and then drives a stake through her body. So he done it all. In Bram Stoker's novel, Dr. Seward was one of Lucy's suitors, while in this movie, he is the father of Mina. Leslie Nielsen was 68 when this film was shot. This makes him tied with Bela Lugosi as the oldest actors to play Dracula in a main role in movies. Lugosi was actually much younger, in his late 40s, when he first played the Count, but he interpreted Dracula several times in his career, including, like Nielsen, in his late 60s.
Wow. That's really impressive. Yeah. It's always kind of a tough thing. Like, you have an immortal character, so how old do you actually want to go with the actor who portrays him? You know,
during the trailer for this movie, especially in one shot of the daymare scene, Dracula says, "It's good to be dead." This quote was completely omitted from the final release of the film. Leslie Nielsen previously had narrated a National Geographic television special on bats entitled "Strange Creatures of the Night" in 1973.
I want to hear that video. That's somewhere on YouTube for surely.
Surely, Kyle, you have to find it. This is really good. So for the scene in which Harker puts a stake in Lucy's heart, you remember? When they're in the vault?
Yeah.
And Mel Brooks didn't tell Steven Weber that he would be covered in 200 gallons of blood.
200 gallons.
So that his reaction would appear natural. This led him to ad-lib, "She's dead enough." He's probably so mad by that point because he does it twice. And he's like, I don't think she's dead. Like, she's dead enough.
They want to say, like, I'm sure he expected some blood. I'm sure he expected like some kind of blood, and then like 200 gallons. Like, oh come on, Mel, that's gotta be.
That's what he looked like he was saying too. You know, he just covered. Oh man,
it's fantastic.
And last but not least,
that's so cruel.
This is the last Mel Brooks movie, so the last word of the movie is "Fushta," said by Van Helsing. Me and Kyle were talking about this, Dracula and Mel Brooks and this Van Helsing
have the exchange of trying to get the last word
in. Like you know, he's do you always have to have the last word in? He's like opening the door and saying something. Then you see Dracula walking by the window, says something. Yeah, Mel Brooks does something. So to continue on with that, at the end, Mel Brooks lifts up the coffin and says "Fushta" to Dracula. It's the last person to appear is also Mel Brooks in this movie, even in the closing credits. But a little hidden gem is Leslie Nielsen has the last laugh in the end of the credits when the Warner Brother logo appears. He also says something incomprehensible, so Dracula got the last
word after all.
Which is a very hilarious add-on to theirs. Mm-hmm. So Kyle, even though this was a shorter episode of ours, what did you think of Dracula?
We kind of flew through it because there's just so few like facts or like that much trivia to go through. But I think it goes to show how good Leslie Nielsen and Mel Brooks are, that as bad as this film is, I still do enjoy a lot of the humor in it because it's just, these guys are just funny. They are just straight up funny in a really great way sometimes. But overall, this film kind of sucks. It's like completely misplaced. A lot of the scenes feel completely wooden or cheap or just like all are like misguided in like the overall the routines. Like looking into the individual scene, like, oh, this is a funny scene, but when you stitch them all together, you get a movie that's just like nonsense and you don't really follow it in a fun way. And it's not really entertaining as you want it to be. It's just like you know, it's like, here's your 10-course meal of exclusively cupcakes. Like, you like cupcakes, but you're not going to like 10 courses of cupcakes. And that's kind of what this film is, where I feel like it's just like, you know, you had the joke first and the plot second, and like they needed a stronger plot for this film. And I'm going to lay that at a little bit of the feet of Bram Stoker for maybe making a bad book. Okay. Like, the book's fine. But still, it's like this adaptation just didn't feel strong to me. I feel like there needed to be more collective fiction making fun of vampires for Mel Brooks to get these jokes right, whereas like Blazing Saddles or Spaceballs did, where it felt like a genre unto itself they're making fun of. And this one, I felt like you're just making fun of Bram Stoker's Dracula and not much else. And that didn't really lean itself well to a lot of good comedic moments that, like, individually, there's a few good strong ones in there, but like the whole film was like, really brings it all down. So this is not a film I really recommend like watching unless you're already a big Leslie Nielsen or a big Mel Brooks fan, but it is like not like the worst thing you could do with your time, I guess. So that's generally, I feel like this movie not that good, not awful either, and like if you're a big Mel Brooks fan, Leslie Nielsen, go check it out, but otherwise you're just perfectly fine passing by it. But that's overall my thoughts on Dracula, as messy as they are. Jimbo, what do you think about Dracula Dead and Loving It?
Oh, it's a terrible movie. I mean, just straight terrible.
Yeah.
You know, when we were discussing it, I said, hey, let's do this, because I haven't seen it. I went to, actually, like I said, I went to the movie theater to see this, and I remember liking it, but, you know, you go back and watch it now, and especially after we just did Bram Stoker's Dracula, I thought it would be cool to see the differences or the jokes. But, man... it's a rough watch.
Yeah.
It's beautifully shot. I mean, it looks good, but it just misses on so many levels. Did I laugh? I laughed out loud a couple of times because there was some funny one-liners. The daymare scene was funny. I thought Renfield did a fantastic job. He's creepy looking anyway. You know, he's eating this. He's like, dude, he's like, did you see that spider? He's like, no. And then, you know, he sees that grasshopper or whatever on the ground and gets it. He's like, did you just eat that grass? He's like, no. He's like, yeah, you did. His leg's still sticking out of your mouth or whatever.
When we're going through like the greatest hits here, this movie sounds amazing.
Right. But
like
what we're telling you is pretty much the best parts of the movie.
Those are it. Those are all of them. We got all of them done in a lot less time.
What about the CGI of Leslie Nielsen's head on the bat? When he's fighting and he hits the window.
It looks intentionally bad in
terrible.
a funny way. But like I get like if that's the joke, how bad it looks. Like then you got it, but it still looks bad.
You know what? And here's what I'm going to say about this, Kyle. We've been doing this podcast. Well, I've been doing this podcast for over 3 years now. You've been about 2, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that this is probably the worst movie we have covered on the podcast.
Ooh.
That's strong words, I know. But, I mean, it's pretty bad. I don't remember a movie that we've covered that I hated so much. I don't want to say hate, that's a strong word.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
That I disliked so much that I just, you know, the first 20 minutes of this movie, I was like, why did I let Kyle pick this movie? Is it worth one watch? It's probably worth a watch, especially if you like Dracula and if you liked a fan of the novel Bram Stoker Dracula or the Bram Stoker's movie. It's probably worth a watch because you will laugh. Leslie Nielsen with that hairdo when he takes the helmet off. I thought it was a great scene when they do the dance scene and they drop the mirrors and you see her twirling, you know, because you can't see his reflection. But it's just a really big miss in my book.
I'm not gonna say it's the worst movie. I'd go to the list again, find some movies that I'm like, I just didn't enjoy it all.
But you can't think of one.
Nice. Yeah, I know. It's definitely down there for sure. It's down there the list of like films. I'm like, I'm not going back on this one anytime soon.
Right.
But still, like at least I could find moments that I could still like kind of defend in this film. Where like I like these jokes at the very least.
Well, you can find that in any movie, pretty much.
Yeah. I think like we haven't covered another film where I feel like there was nothing I could find that I could like.
Do you ever heard the saying, you know, finding a diamond in the rough? Mm-hmm. This is more like finding a rough in a diamond because we
try to only cover like usually good films or films that we respect or something.
Right, but when you've had a rough go and you know you wanted to loosen up and watch a film just to have fun, you put this in and I was like, I thought I was supposed to have fun. But so if you like Dracula, you give it a watch, but just remember going into it, it's not gonna, as you can tell, it didn't win any awards. I think because I was such a Mel Brooks fan of Spaceballs, even Robin Hood Men in Tights, Young Frankenstein, the producers, all those, this is probably, would you say this is Mel Brooks' worst movie?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I would like. It's definitely my least liked Mel Brooks films, easily.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the budget compared to what it made speaks volumes.
Yeah. This is definitely a movie.
So this isn't something that I would go see and start telling all my friends you need to go see, and then they'd go see it, and then they'd tell their friends to go see it. This is I went to go see it, and I didn't tell anybody. Nobody should waste their money on this.
It serves as an example of failure. That's
but you know, I do own it now on Vudu, so there's always that. If I ever want to go back and watch it,
I bought all the Mel Brook stuff you can buy on Vudu for sure. I got it all. So it's just like
if I ever want to go back and watch it, I know where it's at. So, but. Let us know what you guys think. You can throw it in on the Facebook group. I'm sure some people actually like this movie. And I like Leslie Nielsen, and I like Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
I liked Renfield. I even thought Jonathan Harker did a good job, and so did Lucy and Mina. Especially, I will say this. I do have a better appreciation and understanding of the Dracula universe now since I read the book. And you start seeing these same characters over, like Dr. Seward, Mina, Renfield,
somehow,
Lucy, Dracula. Now I can put it all together, because when I would see it, I'd be like, what? But now I know who they were, what they were, and how the story went originally. So now I can put all these together. Oh, well, that wasn't in the book, or this was in the book. You know what I mean? So it makes me appreciate the movies even more by doing that.
Yeah, or I feel like I recognize some of these tropes in other films now too, like how these characters are playing off these roles, same basic premise, but these tropes are going oh, okay, you're basically this character from Bram Stoker's Dracula doing this in a different kind of film. So it's it makes sense to me in a way that it didn't before. You actually read the book, but even watching Bram Stoker's Dracula gives me a greater appreciation. Oh, okay, I see how these characters are supposed to work now in this narrative structure. So that's a cool thing there.
So if you're just wanting a good time, pop it in. Just your brain cells aren't going to get much activity in this movie.
You can flip the switch to off and just let the colors look in your mind, and then occasionally you'll chuckle. Which, inoffensive in terms of films, I'll say that much. It's not a film that offended me in any way.
So, with that being said, next week, we are going back 40 years ago to probably one of Spielberg's greatest movies to be released.
Yeah, maybe the most defining movie of his career overall. I think, if you look at Spielberg, you think of the movie that made him what he is. If it was only one film I had to pick, if you want to understand who Spielberg was, I think you have to choose that film.
Right. Yeah. So we will be covering E.T. the Extraterrestrial. So definitely a childhood favorite of mine. Loved it when I was a kid. Still like it. We'll talk about it next week, though. So if you want to follow us on the social media, you know where to find us. Just the Tragedy of Cinema Podcast group on Facebook. If you need to answer the questions, it's who are the hosts? It's Jimbo and Kyle, or even if you put Jimbo and Terrence, if you're an old OG listener. We pretty much accept anybody anyway, even if they don't answer the questions right. So, with that being said, I think this episode's coming to a close, and that's a wrap.
And cut.